Hello, hello. So, welcome to the Magnificent Abundance Manifester. So, today this is our live and on love. So, this is me introducing Love Thursday to you, where every Thursday is at least the intention is going to be about love. So, I am launching my first Love Thursday with my co host, Robin Hill. So, welcome,
Hello.
Robin.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
And so, as you can see in the description, Robin does
Wine.
many things, and he's very passionate about love. And I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and also to tell us why is love so interesting to be study talk about. Hello, for you,
Well,
of course.
I feel like love gets me everything I want, and love can also not get you things because you don't love right, or you take love for a disadvantage, or you don't use it the right way. So, it could be a very powerful tool, negatively and positive. you know. But it's just important once you realize stuff like that. Even if it's self love, you don't have to love anybody. You can not like a soul, but you can just love yourself. Self love can take you a long ways as well. So just knowing all those things, nothing's black and white, but it's a lot to love. So taking it serious it's about 50% of who I am is love. So
Very good.
just you gotta
So,
have it.
before we start with the key questions that we are going to cover, a few words about who you are and what you do.
Um, I am a musician. I own an art gallery, a studio around Detroit area. I do videography, photography, pretty much management for social media people as well as myself. Pretty much anything that deals with like entertainment wise. I can do pictures for you. I can write a script for you. I'm just a creative in general. I like to tell people I dream for a living, like type
Very
shit.
cool.
You know.
Very nice. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is love. Yes, it's love and it's about universal love. But today we are actually going to focus on love and relationships, as in romantic love. And this is a topic that many people, affect everybody, right? And many people struggle with. So, particularly even before they are in a relationship, to be in a relationship, and then maybe also when they are in a relationship. So, let's
Serious.
talk about these challenges.
Right.
So, yes. So, what's your take on, well, which one do you want to talk about? Like before, between, and when you're in a relationship?
Let's
What
talk about
is,
start from the beginning and go to the end. Seems like
okay. And obviously, feel
um
free also to ask me questions. So it's not only one way. You can
right,
also,
right.
okay.
So what do you want to know about the beginning? What are you
Well,
curious of?
we did say that a lot of a lot of us human beings we struggle to so to find love, and
Mhm.
the main thing as well. We did say that what is really love and how can we find it? How do we know this is the real deal?
If you don't know how to love yourself, if you don't know what love is, the beginning is gonna be one of the most it'll be one of the most deceiving things it can be. Because if you don't know love, you know how they always say when you're in a relationship, it's one way at the beginning, and then 6 months later, it's a different way. You go, the true person comes out in everybody. So it's like knowing how to love yourself and knowing what love is, and what you are willing to deal with and what you're not, things like that, will ultimately help you prevent yourself from getting in the beginning stage and then ruining it before it's in the middle stage or even in the long stage, or it goes too far and like you can't get out of it now. So you're trapped in that first stage, and it could be a horrible trap in the first stage. So at the beginning of any of that, you really need to know how to love yourself, and appreciate yourself and appreciate what love actually is. Starting with loving family members. If you don't have family members, and love yourself, love an object. Don't love money, but love an object, love something, care about stuff. So just you get all these bad relationships out here because nobody's really training on love and teaching what love actually is, and nobody cares to even learn what love actually is. They rather just go with what their version of it is, which everybody has their own version, but still, you can't love unless you love yourself. You can't even love yourself unless you know what love is. So beginning stages are everything. If people really care, some people just they like the heartbreak, but some people they really just don't know to think that way. So that's
I really don't know what to what. Sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
They just don't care to learn that. They don't care to figure that kind of stuff out. But some people just they've never even thought to think that way. So sometimes somebody just needs that little bit of advice right there. You know what I mean?
So if I'm listening to what you're saying, you said before even considering being in a relationship, you need to do some make sure that you know how to love yourself, respect for yourself, and know who you are in your core before you can even think of a relationship with someone. Is that what you mean?
Facts, 100%.
And once the person has done that job of going through that stage of knowing who they are, that they're worthy of love, because they love themselves and they know what self-care is, and they're not projecting on the person that they choose all of their insecurities or expect them to be, a lot of people, they want sometimes they use the relationship as a way to be soothed and to almost like a medicine towards their own insecurities. And then when the partner doesn't give them what they want or what they need, it's drama. And oftentimes it's because they haven't done that work. So let's say the person has done this work and then they find someone that they connect with, that they feel really, really good with. And then they say, well, let's be happy together. So not really, let's make me happy, but let's be happy together, right?
Right. That's healthy. That's the healthiest.
And then, right. But then, even then, there will be challenges, though.
Nothing's perfect. You gotta know what you want to fight. Either you're down, and if you come into any relationship and think there's not going to be issues or things like that, you're highly mistaking yourself, and you should probably never get into a relationship until you understand that. Number one, but again, you got to know what you want to fight for. You got to know who a person is. You got to know if somebody does have narcissistic traits, if somebody is kind of a more controlling kind of person. You got to know how to spot those things out. Some people like to be controlled. Some people like the attitude in the girl, whatever. So you just got to know what you want to get into and look at things as a whole. There's some people who get married after dating somebody for a week. There's some people who don't get married until like 5 years into the marriage. And I've seen both styles still together today before, you know what I'm saying? So again, comes down to those people knew what they understood, you know what I'm saying? Or they didn't understand and they had kids and they just said, fuck it, we're just gonna ride this one all the way out, So but that comes down to love. You love your kid, you don't want to see that. So now you're forced, now you're probably gonna be unhappy, but you're unhappy for the better benefit of loving your children and letting them have a together home at the cost of you not liking the situation. So it's so many different kind of ways with things, but love and just understanding what's your compatibleness and what you can deal with is like key. Again, everything will come down with love. It comes down to understanding yourself and understanding what you like, everything about yourself. Because if you don't know, you're going to be figuring it out while you're with somebody that you don't even want to be, or figuring out when you are with somebody you want to be, So It
So
can be good, it can
basically
be
what
bad.
you're saying is that you need to really know yourself first. So there are some people as well who I've seen, they don't really ask themselves all of these questions, and then they meet someone and they're like, oh, he's cute, oh, she's cute, oh, let's try. And then they end up being together and like, oh shit, actually we're not compatible.
Right, right. Still trying to make it work, you know. You guys you're in lust now. You're not in love, you're in lust, you know. Like, oh, I don't want to be with her, but oh wait, the sex is great, you know, like, oh shit, you know, now you're kind of forgetting that you don't want to be right there and you didn't already formed such a bond. Now it's gonna be issues, you know. So
Yes.
it's
So
it's a lot.
okay, to someone who is like this, what would you advise? Let's say to a man, what would you tell?
If he was in too deep already and
Well,
wants to
I
get
don't.
out,
Well, what do you call too deep?
if he's in something that he shouldn't be in, is that what you're asking?
Yes,
What kind of advice?
yes. Someone that realizes, oh, I didn't do all of this work. I'm along with it, and then I thought I didn't give it much thought. But now that I'm growing and I'm realizing that maybe there is something more to a relationship, well, this is not really what I realize that there are things that are not great between me and that person. But
I would
yet
tell him.
I'm committed already. So what do I do?
I would tell him or her the same thing, honestly. It's you lay it on the line, you tell them exactly how you feel, and really, like, you know, that pushover lifestyle where like you don't just go do what you need to do. If you don't cut the bad fruit off the grapevine, you hang out with a friend that you shouldn't be hanging out with, or this, and you don't cut it off because of whatever reason, that shows your mental capacity, your strengthness on those kind of things. You might not be strong enough to do that kind of stuff, which is another fault of humans. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to do what you got to do and just do it and walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you got to know how to do. Most people are not going to want to do it because they like to do things their way. But, you know, it's sometimes it's only one way to do something, you know what I mean? So I would just tell anybody, if you want this person and you're committed, you're in there kind of far and love's trickling around the air and shit like that, but you're not happy, you tell them everything you're not happy with, and they don't have to change. But if they care, they'll try to take things in consideration, you know? So you tell them, that's where you start. That's the start. You say that, and then we can see where it goes after that, you know? If the person's not willing to change, you just got to go on and move. I mean, heartbreak only lasts for a little bit. You know, you're not going to be broken forever now. God, people
Right.
act like they don't want to, you know.
Yes. So there is a lot of instances where people do stay out of convenience because they're afraid of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like, well, I don't know what, you know, maybe I will never meet someone anymore, or it's bad, even though they actually know it is, but they're trying to convince themselves that it's. So what would you tell to these people who kind of wonder without really wondering?
Just, you know, just that, you know, you lay it on the line, like, you know, you got to understand. You pretty much tell them exactly what I just said. You know, you could be like misled. You might feel like you can't live without this person. You don't want to deal with that. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to fall in love again. I bet you don't. You know what I'm saying? When you fucking do this shit 100 times and you're wasting your time every time, I bet you are tired of this, you know? Learn, you know, some people, they feel like they got to be in a relationship. They get out one, they get into another one. They don't want to take the time off for a whole 2 years or a year. So they're always looking for something. And then they're saying the favorite excuse is, I didn't expect this to happen. Well, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You knew what you were doing, you know? So it's a game all the way around, you know? And either you want to waste your time or you don't. You know, most people, they have no problem wasting their time, but you know what they love to do? They love to go to Facebook and talk shit about it. You know, they got the time for that. You know, it's a game, you know? So that's why some people get walked all over, because you might be with somebody who's playing you, but he understands the game, and like you're just not understanding it. You're just letting him play the game. So what is he gonna do? He's gonna play the damn game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think. Some people are like that, you know. So if you're gonna waste your time and play the game, don't be mad when you're getting the game played on you. You know. So, and again, some people are really just dumb on the subject and don't understand that, or they just have other issues that they search for love whatever it might be. Everybody's kind of different on why they look for love and why they do things that they do. But at the end of the day, if it's not for you, it's not for you. You don't need to be involved in it, or you're gonna have to deal with whatever comes with it. And in this day and age, that's what we're cool with. We like that, you know. I don't.
You mean like in this day and age, we like the fact that people are more upfront about things? Is that what you mean?
Toxic. We like toxicity in 2020.
So
we like. What's up?
What about toxicity?
Just people just like the game. They like to just play the game. The girls like to be treated wrong. Dudes like to go for girls that are players and just look good. Like there's no real authenticity. It's all like glamour life. That kind of how people are moving these days with like love. You know what I mean?
There is no true love. It's more about show off or appearances. Is that what you mean?
Right. Yep. That's pretty much where we're at. So when you're playing that kind of game, it's a game. It's not the right way to be moving about, you know. So again, every positive has a negative, and it'll be in the kind of the way of whatever the positive was. You know, the positive was she looked good. The negative was she broke my heart so beautifully. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, you know?
So do men and women have different needs?
I think they have different needs, but a lot of the same similar ones. So like if there was 10 needs that we both have, we probably each have like one or two different ones, maybe, you know, not to say there's not a dude who doesn't have all the same needs, because there's a lot of, I think we're all humans, you know, but I think that one's more emotional stereotypically than the other one. So it's, you know, I do feel like a woman should feel the need of feeling protected, which is a need that a male wouldn't necessarily have.
Right.
Which we might want you to protect our heart, but we're going to protect you physically. And you're like, protect me on both of them though. Like, you know, like, so.
And what is wrong with that? Wanting to be protected from, okay.
Nothing's wrong with it. That's just the only difference that I would see that a woman would have different than a male, you know, because we're both going to have sexual needs. We're both going to have connection needs. We're both going to have, you know, love needs and respect needs and stuff like that. We're all going to have all that stuff. But in terms of like
maybe for those who are actually really looking into this as almost a beginner, what would you say are the needs in a relationship?
What are the needs in a relationship? I mean, communication, number one.
Okay.
Number one, communication.
Agreed. Yes.
I mean, that sums up a lot of things when you say communication, because good communication says there's no lies. I don't need to say that you don't need to lie, and honesty. Honesty and all that would go in the word communication, you know? So communication is a huge one, you know? And this loyalty, you know, like real loyalty, like, you know, they say treat others like you want to be treated. I mean, that's pretty much what it is, you know? You just gotta, some people don't care and they get their karma one way or another, you know? I do believe in energies like that, but communication, start there. Understanding is what you have to do on your own. You need to know how to comprehend. You can look up YouTube videos on how to comprehend better. You can do whatever you need to do, read some books, learn how to comprehend what you are reading and learn how to comprehend what you are hearing. So from there, I mean, communication, you can get whatever you want. You can avoid a lot of things with communication, you know? Also.
Yeah.
I was going to say, don't go into relationships with a barrier built up. Say somebody played you before and like you come into the relationship like, oh, I don't trust men anymore. But you're getting into a relationship and acting like you don't trust anything that he's doing because you were hurt before. You're going to fuck up your chances with that guy. You know, you got to come, if you're going to get into something, you go in there willing to get your heart broken and shattered because you have faith in what you're doing, you know?
So when I'm going to come back on the communication aspect and ask something around communication is important, that also assumes or presupposes that you are honest in how you feel and how you think, and then you don't hide anything from your partner. because a lot of people are struggling to be real, even to themselves.
True.
So I think that's also something where it's about being genuine towards each other, even if it's around fears and insecurities.
Right. I mean, you know, that's, you know, I understand why some people have insecurities in relationships. I think the video went out on my phone. I said it stopped, but
No, what's going on here?
it might be me.
I'm still live. I'm still live.
It's saying error for loading on my phone, but that just could be me.
Yeah, mine is still showing because I'm seeing both.
Okay. Sorry, what was the question again?
The question was about being genuine and real, to have a good communication, right?
Yeah. And
And
that's
then
again, communication is everything. You know, it sums up a lot of that stuff because if it's bad communication, then there's lies and stuff involved. You know, yeah, you got the word communication down, but you don't have good communication. Great, excellent communication, not bad communication. You know, bad communication can mean not talking enough. Bad communication mean lying to each other. But like I was saying though, insecurities, I don't blame certain people for having insecurities because you don't always want to open up your insecurities to somebody right away unless you know, some things like that. That's something I can understand where like you keep a barrier up right there. You don't just put everything out on the line because, you know, you can't.
Of course, not up front, like you don't even know the person that well.
Right. That's one thing that I will say.
About, you know, we were talking about challenges when you are in a relationship, and that things, even though you worked on yourself and everything, there will be stuff that will come up, right?
Like I had been in a relationship with a girl before who wore makeup all the time, and I'm just like, I never seen you without makeup on. It's like why, you know? And then she's just like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an insecurity, you know, that's an insecurity. And I never really understand it, but I do kind of understand it. Like if you're ugly, you're ugly. It's okay. I'm with you already. You got my damn heart. It's fine. Let your pores breathe a little bit, you know? Jeez, you know, it's okay. Straight. But I get it though, you know. Everybody's different. Everybody does, you know, what they're doing.
Before I continue with the further questions, what you didn't mention to our audience is actually that you wrote a book on relationship.
Yeah, I wrote a book. I never really published it. I had been writing it since like 10th grade, and I wrote it all the way till like probably my second year in college. And it was just kind of like people driving reckless outside. At first, it was just kind of like almost like a journal. And I would just kind of be like, you know, I used to be a player. I used to play girls. That was fun, you know, that kind of stuff, you know. So I just would realize things. I'm like, at first I was the nice guy about things. Then I started getting a little bit more direct about things. And like girls are like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, whoa, damn, okay. All right, well, we're gonna go back to this style of things. Yeah, you know, like so you just start to see how things work with girls and shit like that. And it just showed you relationship stuff too. And I used to be young, and my parents would have marriage counsel people come over, and like I'd be in my room as a kid, and they'd be out in the living room, and I could just hear them talking about stuff, you know, because they went through marriage counsel type stuff, saving their marriage type deal. So I would hear all the things that this guy would be talking to them about. And I don't know, just it made sense. I'm a little kid listening, like what's going on, like, you know. So just all those kind of things together. I was writing, and then I decided to like turn it into like a book style. And then I started rescrapping and taking out things and then like making it into chapters. And pretty much how we're talking about things. One thing would be about communication. One thing would be about this, about that. I'm pretty mad I never actually got to like get it published because I had the same MacBook for 4 years, and it got stolen, and it was just like gone from there. Like I'm like, damn. Well, and that's the only thing I think about.
But the knowledge is still in your mind, in your brain.
So. Oh yeah, that's every day. I got that sealed and dealed for sure.
All right, so I'm interested to know about that player thing obviously for our audience, right?
Well, what do you know about the player
All right,
lifestyle.
I have a question, and I feel that will be for women or maybe men. I don't know. What makes a player tick, and why does he why does he do this?
If you can get away with something, you're gonna do it. Okay. You know the saying, take an inch, give an inch, take a mile. I mean, it is what it is. Like, so you have like multiple levels of like type of players. You got dudes who just they're just horny dudes and they're just really just players. They're just going around doing whatever. Then you have more of
All
a
right, then wait. I'm going to stop you there. So, what is a player? Define it to me.
it's just somebody, it's a slang term for somebody who just
I
plays with
know, but
women.
I want you to give me your definition.
I mean, it's somebody who just,
All right, so
plays
give you
around.
mine.
Huh?
Can I give you mine? My
Yeah,
understanding. Can you tell me if
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
right or not? All right, to
Mhm.
me, a player, he actually plays with women's emotions.
You're always gonna play with somebody's emotions,
To
even if you're not a
serve,
player.
to serve his interests.
That is a trait of a player, that a player
Okay.
can do that, but a player can also, he cannot game you up at all and just like be fucking around with like 4 or 5 hoes and not giving them no lovey-dove nothing. They just raw rough with them. So it's not always that, trying to seep yourself into them, make them love you and stuff like that, because you do have those guys who just try to make people fall in love with them. I used to be a dude who used to I like would get off, not get off, but I would get off by like talking a girl up and she think they were about to hang out, and I didn't think I was gonna be able to hang out with her, and I just don't hang out with her. I just like to know that I could have got you. That's all. It's kind of fucked up like that.
Yeah, that's called, more, let's say, in a nice way, it's called looking for validation.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Good validation helps with the ego.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I used to be like that. But again, like again, a player can just be a dude. There's another type of player where if like for me more so in school and coming up, girls would just throw themselves at me. So they would know I have a girlfriend, or they would know this, or they know that, and they didn't care. So now it's like, oh, you gonna throw yourself at me? Well, I'm gonna take you then. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of player is just playing the game, like he just, it's coming to me. I ain't got nothing to do about it. It's coming to me. He's more of the nice kind of player, and then it's like levels to it. You got another different kind, another player who's really building up relationships, dating multiple women because he has to, because he's not going to get as far as he did unless he dates them, so it's a bunch of different types of players out there.
Right. So for the women there, what advice would you give them around players?
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay, like, that's the number one thing right there. Now,
What?
don't hate the player, hate the game. Now, that's the
Wait,
number
wait,
one
wait,
thing.
wait. No, it's about taking responsibilities and play with someone who will match you. Otherwise, you're just taking advantage.
If she knows that you're a player and she comes around, she gets mad that she gets played, you can't hate the player, you gotta hate the game. So if you ever do know, because a lot of times your girlfriends are always gonna be like, don't talk to him, you shouldn't talk to him. I know that. And you're like, oh no, he's not mean to me. I don't know. Like, so hey, the advice is, if you got a red flag and if you don't want to deal with that shit, you get the fuck on. Again, it comes down to cutting the great fruit off the tree, bad fruit off the tree, whatever. It's just like, and this is the thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, she's cute, man. She's like, all right, I'm gonna just try it out. And if I actually don't like it, and she is who I said that she is, I'm gonna get on out of there. But by that time that you even gave it that chance, it's too late. I done got you. It's over with. Too late. You shouldn't even give me that chance. Now you're locked in there because you're so curious, and you're gonna keep getting curious to the point where, if it's a real good player, he can make you fall in love in like a day or two. Honestly, it might not be in love, but it's gonna be like good enough.
So for the women who are after true love, how do you spot one not play the game?
If you're looking for true love, you just let that shit come to you. Again, Understand who you are, because at the beginning, remember, level one, you gotta love yourself. You gotta know who you are. But at the same time, if you're looking for true love, you don't look for true love. It comes to you. You know what I'm saying? So just it could come to both of you guys the same way. You both didn't ask for it, but you both sat on this train that was going for 5 hours right next to each other. That came to both of you guys. So even people get on eHarmony and stuff like that. That's easier to look for love. You guys want to get some love, you can get on these dating sites and it'll give you a description of who the person is. All right, then you can do that, but and generally a lot of them, like, you go to Christian Mingle, go to a good wholesome site. Don't go on one of them Tinders and nothing like that if you're looking for real love. So that's the way I would say look for love in a more healthy way. I know they got speed dating things too, but at the end of the day, don't go looking for it, because the ones that are always looking for it end up going through the most life lessons,
Right.
So it just has to come to you. It's hard to say how to go find it, but you just got to be, again, know yourself, know the signs, and just avoid the signs. A sexy ass broad could walk up to me right now and man, she's bad as hell, but then I'm like hearing all this shit about her. I'm like, not even gonna do it. Hi, how you doing? Follow me on Instagram, type shit, so you just gotta know when to, like, you gotta know yourself. You gotta know shit, man.
So
It's
this
hard.
is
And
the
then say you're in a big
message.
city where you don't,
Right.
I was gonna say you're in a big city where you can't get info on somebody. You just randomly bump into this guy, suave dude. Just move slow.
Take your
Move
time.
slow.
Okay.
Take your time.
So
No rush.
know yourself, take your time, and let it find you.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Let it find
good.
you. Don't go looking for it.
So there were some like sub questions that were there as well. So
Mhm.
where is it? Right. So how to figure out standards?
How to figure out what?
Your standards in relationships.
Oh, your standards.
Mm.
Also coming back to loving thyself. But you just know what your standards are. Usually you've been through different relationships and you know what you like and what you don't like. Your standards can be too high. People try to say that you can't have too high of standards, but I think that you can have too high of standards, to the point where it's not realistic. But that's just that, but also if you have realistic standards, you don't have to settle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might just be lonely for a long time. But it's whatever, God or the gracious one or whatever you guys believe in, the good karma energies and stuff like that, they will give back to you somewhere or another. But your standards are very important, because your standard is your quality of life. So if you're like cool with dating a slob whose house is all fucked up and shit like this, car is junky, and they drink alcohol every day, don't be surprised on what you have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just had a higher standard, you wouldn't deal with those things right there, which could ultimately fuck with your vibe and your energy, and then have you doing things you wouldn't do. Now you're a slob. You hang with 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the sixth one. You hang with 5 slobs, you're gonna be the sixth one.
So it's about knowing really what you really want from someone, from a relationship. Know yourself again. We get back to the core message, and anything that is going to basically resonate with who you are, that is going to match what you want from a relationship.
Yep. Your
And
standards are your quality.
all right. So there are people who say that, when you know. If this is the right person, you're going to feel it right there. And some people spend years and years and years wondering. So how do you really know when you're ready from when you're not ready?
I know that I'm not ready. Because I know that I'm not ready right now because my lifestyle.
Right.
So I know that, I know that I'm not ready to settle down.
So basically, it's not really about the person. It's about your mindset even before being with someone. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. That's really important. Yes. So again, it's all math. Everything adds up, you know, adding numbers to the equation. But that would be one important thing. You know, you got to know if you're ready for it, you know, because if you're not ready, again, you can't love someone unless you love yourself. And you can't, and if you do love yourself, you'll know when you are ready to be in a relationship. You know, you'll know, you got to know thyself, you know what I'm saying? You know when you're ready for that. And then whoever you're with, you gotta, and if whoever you're with, you gotta know that they know that they're ready to. And which you can generally tell with some people, you know, some people are just who they are, and that's just who they're gonna be. You know the saying, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Well, but
I think
there is, well, there is this myth apparently where, or a fantasy, I don't know, that says that some people might not be ready, but they meet the right person, then they become ready like this.
it can happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen for sure. Because you might connect with somebody that did come out and just hit your standards on the head. Like, even if I wasn't ready right now, and I know I'm not, I could get with somebody who could accept my lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure I could, you know, and you know, then it'd be like, oh shit, you know, because I'm not ready right now. I'm not opposed to dating somebody and seeing what we can, if it works or not like that, you know. So
Well,
yeah, that
I feel it's not only about someone accepting your lifestyle or putting up with your, let's say, the way you live, but also the level and the depth of the connection that you can have with that person, don't you think? Like, you can experience a level of connection that is making you reconsider everything.
No, that's true. That's true. It's definitely, again, it's everything is subjective to who the person is and what they want. When you have higher standards, like me, if my standards are so high that I feel like I would be if I just seen something that was hitting all my standards right on the head. Take me right now. Type
Okay,
shit,
then
you know?
we agree.
Yeah, yeah. I have to see that. That's rare. I don't know if that exists out there, but maybe, maybe.
It's about, well, as someone who talks a lot about manifestation, you need to put it out there and
Mhm.
believe you're going to get
Yeah.
exactly what you want.
And that's another
And
thing. If that's how you go looking for love. You just put it in the air. You don't go looking for it for real, walking around the streets trying to find it. Nah, not like that. Nah, you know. So I agree
yes,
with I agree with that for sure.
um, then the next thing was understanding how love really works.
Which was pretty much what we were kind of saying. You know, when you figure out yourself and how to love yourself, as
Right.
you're figuring that out, you're learning how love actually works. And
Okay.
along with doing nice things, you know, if you see a homeless man on the street, give him some money. You don't He can go smoke it up and buy crack. You gave him some money, he needed it. That's cool. Maybe if you don't want to give him money, give him some food. You know, so he doesn't have to go spend his money, you know. So different kind acts are ways of showing love. So there's not just one way to like learn like the whole thing about love, because if you understand all these elements of love, then when you have an actual significant other, you can apply these same qualities, you know, with them, you know. So it's understanding is crucial, because again, if you understand, then you understand how to love yourself, and you understand this. You know, it's not just one way to do this, and just because I'm telling you my way doesn't mean your way of coming across and how to figure out love isn't going to work or anything like that. But you gotta research it, you gotta look into it. It's not black and white. Nothing's black and white in this world. That's why there's so many ways we can get to where we want to get. But
Very good.
figure out love. Figure
Figure
out love. It helps.
Um, and there are not a few, there are just not many left. So one of them is having a type a real thing, or is that being egotistical?
No, the type kind of goes into the standards. You know, you have your standards, but again, sometimes your type is not the type you're gonna ever be with. You know, and sometimes the type that you like is the
Like
toxic
people
type.
who just have like a type that they won't meet every day. Is that what you mean?
You know, some people want to date supermodels, and
Yeah.
they could be the dumbest people in the world. You know, so you have a type, but then you haven't been with that type. You know, or you have a body type, and then you want to match a body type with a mental, and then you want to have a style of clothes that they wear. You just have this crazy type. And you know, having a type isn't bad. It's totally fine. You might have a type of guy who wears flannel shirts. I love it when a guy wears flannel shirts. You know, whatever the girl might like. You know what I'm saying? So a
Right.
type isn't bad. I just think that I don't think it's egotistical at all. You just like what you like, but it's very important to not shut off types that you aren't interested in, because that could actually be the one that you know looking for. So knowing yourself again, everything
So,
comes out.
so in that case, tell me, what is your type?
My type.
Well, if you want to
So
share, obviously.
this is kind of how my life has been. The girls that I end up dating are like the really good type girls. You know, they don't smoke or drink. Their
The good
life is
girls.
on, good girls. But I would always cheat with the type that I actually like. I'm a better guy now. I'm a better guy now. So I would cheat with like the more promiscuous, like just rat shit slutty-ish kind of looking girls. You know, like it's like it's every like a man's weakness. You know, you go to club, girls look all bad and shit. Like but those are not those would be my type for short term. And I'm very short term when I think of relationships. Even though most of my relationships were like years long, but I had multiple girlfriends during those times. So I would have my cake and eat at the same time, which is not good. Don't do this, guys. Do not be a player. It's not okay. It's not okay. So I don't do it anymore. I've been blessed with the holy water. But
Why not okay? Because the guys need to know, because maybe they think, I'm going to be cool if I'm like this. Like women are going to be
you
crazy.
feel cool. I bet you feel cool. Yeah. But long term, it's gonna fuck you up in the head. So it gets too much. I could juggle 6 girls. Nowadays, trying to juggle 2 girls is just fucking way too much. Like, whoa. So it just, I don't know. You can grow out of that stuff. I do feel like that. Just like, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I do think you can. I do think there are some promiscuous girls that are just gonna be that way. But I think there are some girls who just had a fucking short run in their life and put some miles up on them. And now they're trying to chill out. Get a husband. And that's the funny thing too. A lot of the girls that were hoes in high school, let's be very stereotypical right now. So a lot of the white girls that like the black dudes in high school and all that were little sluts and stuff like that, they end up marrying a country white dude when they get older. And it was not their type, so I don't know why that stereotype is so like prevalent, but it's a real stereotype though. So maybe they changed their type from what they liked physically to the type that they need mentally and for the future of being a grown woman with kids.
Right. Well, yeah. So my take on this, what you're talking about, is basically many people tend to almost like have a split personality, really, or they will go for the safety and be with someone that they know is going to be exactly safe, and then go and fulfill the fantasies because there is
happens a lot.
Right. And instead of
shouts out to the strip clubs out there.
But then I have a feeling that even the people who do this, the connection is still not great, because if they need the sense of adventure elsewhere, that means they don't have it in the current relationship, but they chose it because they were scared of anything else. So instead of looking for something,
you want to get the girl that you can cheat on, but that's not gonna cheat on you.
Well, that's
very selfish.
What, right? So that's a mindset of an ex-player talking, I assume, right?
Ex-player, yes, ex-player.
Because if you want true, meaningful connection, you don't cheat, whether it's emotionally or physically. You connect with that person and you have both the sense of safety and high together. You do your 50 shades together, you know, like you do whatever you want together. And at the same time,
Right.
something solid. So this is, I would say, like the type of relationship where you have all your needs met, which is, I believe, what most of people, I would say, would want.
It's hard. It's hard to find that right there.
Well,
it's hard.
It's well, remember you said what? You need to put it out there and ask for what you want.
And you know, a disadvantage for some people is they're in one fish tank and they're looking around that one fish tank when there's an ocean out there, but they're not going to the ocean. They're staying around their fish tank.
But
So
this is different. It's they doing it out of fear, not out of choice.
Yeah. True.
Right? Because because my understanding, my perception, my belief is when you have your needs met, you don't even pay attention to what's out there, because why?
Yeah, I've felt that way before. That way before. But maybe, you know, I get bored easy.
Then, of course, but it's probably because at the time you didn't have your right match. That's the way I would see. Like someone who can be as playful and as whatever vibe you go at, and then you do these things together. That's when you can be, you know, wild together and at the same time wise.
Right. Definitely feel that. You know, sometimes I always think about, like, have I actually been in real love? Truly in love? I don't know. I feel like I have, but I feel like I haven't though at the same time, you know. Because like you're saying, if you know, I do accept that if you are in love for real, you wouldn't want to do anything like that. But then it's like, is that true, or was I not in love? You know what I'm saying? Like, which one is it? Like, so I don't know. You know, I can't 100% say if I have been or haven't been, but I thought that I have, and that's a very knowledgeable way.
With hindsight now, you would know what was happening then. And when you are experiencing these things where you can have everything at once and you don't need, like, people can see you're just flourishing as a person. That love makes people more beautiful. Like, seriously, like, people become prettier when they love. And it's like, this is something that not only you, but other people will see. They see something has changed, like you're glowing or something is happening. That's true. Is telling you.
Yeah. That's how you can tell if a girl had sex the day before. Hey, what you? You floating around right now. Okay, all right. You think you're real.
Of course. But then but then when it's a meaningful connection, then you do flourish and you do glow. It's sustained, you know? It's not like last night it was amazing and then next week you're back to normal. You know?
Which happens. It does definitely happen.
So this is actually a great transition to the last question we have, which is when to fix your issues or when to walk away.
Is a very important thing, so you can avoid any kind of domestic or just, you know, ending with somebody on a good term is probably the best thing you could ever do, you know, because you don't want to burn bridges, you don't want to hate anybody, you don't need that energy, you know what I'm saying? So again, self-control, knowing when to cut the bad fruit off the vine. You fix it if it's minor things. Somebody's an alcoholic, you might have to ride it down that path with them and try to get them to get out of that. Or if they do drugs, get them out of that. If somebody physically beats you, you're probably not going to get that out of them. You know what I'm saying? They kind of probably always going to do that shit. You know, it's probably going to turn really, really ugly in the long run. If someone is just known to like entertain girls or entertain guys, that's something where you can kind of try to sort it out. But if they just still do stuff like that, that's when you got to know you got to get them going. So it's like a bunch of different things that you want to think about. And again, it's what you want to deal with. Some people aren't jealous. Go ahead and flirt. I know you mind. You know, that's how some people are. Somebody's like, don't ever talk to no dude. What? Better not. What?
Well,
Delete your
no, actually,
Facebook.
I am. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about this. And that jealousy. Um, there is a way to talk to people that can be friendly, or where it's actually crossing the line towards flirty.
Mm-hmm.
And that then becomes disrespectful towards your partner.
Right. Um, that's really gonna come down to what that person is okay with. You know, it's literally only gonna come down to that. Some people are cool with it, like I said, some people aren't. You know,
Well,
that
yeah. But assuming that they're a cool person, it doesn't mean you need to take advantage and do whatever you want. It needs to come from you as well. What you feel is acceptable to do, don't you think?
yeah, yeah, true.
Right?
It's true. It's a tough one. I mean,
Really? What is that?
you you
For
can
me,
you
it's
can
straightforward. It's like you would. It's the same thing as you don't even want to look elsewhere. You might look because it's like it looks pretty and you admire it, but it doesn't mean you want to act upon it.
unless that person acts upon you, and then you're like, oh shit, they came in. Oh, fuck, I was just looking at your profile picture. Um, well, yeah, we can just get coffee. I mean, yeah, my boyfriend's gone till 6, so I mean, yeah, let's get some coffee. Like, you know, now you didn't open the gates up. You know what I'm saying? So
Wait. How about boundaries and telling people? Okay, this is a very interesting point, because a lot of people struggle with boundaries. So when someone shows them an interest, it's like they don't know how to put distance, because they are not comfortable with that. So you can enjoy someone's attention, but there is a point where you need to basically assert your distance or your boundaries.
true. Social media makes things hard like that. It makes things more accepted that wouldn't have been accepted before. You know, that's why I think there's so many more like single relationships and a lot of bullshit going on, and sluts out here and cheaters and all kinds of shit out here now, is because we have social media now. Before, it was hard to get out here and do this. It was all physical, up close and personal type stuff, you know? And
Well,
now it's like,
you mean it facilitates that, but that means there was still a seed there.
there were still things there for sure, but it's more common now. Like girls sending out nudes was like a privilege. Now girls have OnlyFans and shit like that, and they're just like busting it out open everywhere, you know? So it's kind of like, it's things becoming more of not love based. It's more of a toxic community. Like I said, we're in a community now where if we expect our girlfriend to cheat on us, or we just expect the negative things and shit, and we want to accept it. You know, it's like, nah, you ain't gotta accept that shit. But it's so normal now, you know.
Really?
It's not everybody, but it's a large percentage of the world that we're at right now.
Well, maybe I don't see the world the same you do, but you
Yeah,
know.
I'm in America. It's fucked up over here. I tell you that. Like, that's what it is, and there's no way around it. Like, no sugarcoating for that one, man. It's fucked up out here.
But then again, you choose your community. You choose the people you spend time with.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes you're a product of your environment as well. You know.
I agree. Well,
There's people
unless you
that shoot
isolate yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I talk about how people be shooting guns and gunshots going off all the time around here, but then you have people in other places like, huh? What? I couldn't imagine that. Like, what? That's normal. Like, what? So it's like different places have different things they deal with, you know. But you know, you see a lot of stuff. I traveled around the world a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I see a lot of things and how things are different just from state to state, just from crossing a border. Like, it's just different, you know.
Of
So
course, it's different. I agree. But again, if you remember, you talk about knowing oneself, then choose your standards based on that, And it's all about starting from you. So yes, there will be a majority of people doing whatever they want, but then somehow, because of the energy that you're going to send out, you're going to call into your energy field, or to your aura, whatever you want to call it. You're going to connect with the people who resonate with you.
Yeah, and you know, again, that's hoping that they are on that mindset and they have that mindset to think that way, which again, a lot of people just don't think about everything. They think things are black and white, or if I do this, you know, it's like, no, you got to think about this. And that's only 25% of love. So now you got to figure out all this other shit to be able to love harder and stronger and deeper and through things, seeing through things.
Yes,
you know?
and I think it's up to everybody's a responsibility to educate themselves and work on themselves. This is not, it's your responsibility to own your, you know, your life. Not saying, oh, you know, this is society, I'm going to eat whatever. No, you choose what you want to eat. Right. Oh, everybody cheats. Okay, I'm going to cheat as well. No.
Right, yeah. That's how it is now. Everybody cheat. I'm cheating too. Fuck it.
Well, I believe you choose your standards, not your environment. You need to be strong though, but you need to be more decisive on who you want to show up as.
Yeah, it's again manifesting that energy, you know, for sure. Yeah. And it's a doozy out here.
Well, it's because you haven't spent enough time with my lives, my you know, my videos lives. Then you will say, yeah, of course.
Well, let me find out you got OnlyFans out here now.
So, do you have any questions for me?
What's your type?
I was expecting, you know. Okay, now I'm shy. All right, my type. I'm very big on emotional connection.
So you're like a sensitive guy.
Well, I don't know if that will translate into someone sensitive, but someone who gets me, who really know how I feel.
So you're more into, so basically for somebody to do that, I feel like you would be the type of person to like be in love instantly that first day if it was the right connection. That's good. Because generally somebody's gonna know you on the very first time they talk to you. They're gonna have that understanding. They're gonna get you like right away, and it's so like, oh wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that somebody who is into that kind of stuff, those tend to be the people who got really really fast, because they want somebody to get them and understand them, and conversation is key to them. You know, I like conversation too. Don't get me wrong. That's if I'm out at the bar and I lock into a conversation with somebody and we're just getting really deep minded and shit like that, that shit's cool to me. You know what I'm saying? Versus like a dumb conversation that's just like dumb, you know?
Yes, of course. You like depth.
Depth, super deep. But yeah, okay. So you like emotional and gets you, but that's still not tight for me. That's not a type.
All right. So, all right, so what is my type? Okay, so give me some areas that I can define better, because I'm more.
Do you have a race type?
I don't actually.
You don't have a race type? Come on.
Seriously, I don't. I'm thinking about my past and about my and there's been a tendency.
Let me guess. No, go ahead. I'm gonna guess. Go ahead. No, I will guess. Go ahead. All right. I either see you with a white dude or someone with like Middle Eastern ethnicity. It's one of the other. I couldn't see you with an Asian guy. If he got you on some random understood you and you gave him a second chance. But I don't know. I couldn't see you with the black dude either. I don't know. Black dudes in London are kind of weird to me anyways. I don't know. Like I don't know. It'd have to be a white dude or a Middle Eastern guy. It really, that's what I see you with.
So so let's say that there's been yeah, you're not wrong. So so more around yeah, I guess so. I let me think.
It's okay. Sometimes the nail gets hit on the head, you know.
Yes, I guess you're probably right. It's like I feel okay, you're talking about physical type, right? So I think
the emotional stuff, we all want that. We all want somebody to get.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal, but we all want that, you know.
Okay. But it's true that I've never been into any blonde guy or anything. Maybe Brad Pitt, but he's the only one. No, it's true. So it's true that more Mediterranean maybe has been, but it's not a must. I didn't say this is what I want. It just happened.
I have a tradition. I've dated mostly white girls and been with mostly white girls, but again, that's not like all that I'm like interested in. It's just kind of what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But was that really a type? Well, to me, was that?
I think it is. It's just that we don't want to act like we're confined to it, but it really shows that is a type for you. And they probably all have similarities. So they all have something to say.
People do grow, they evolve, they heal. Yeah. That's a big thing. Yeah. So I had to do a lot.
So what are you saying? You were dating a bunch of players? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
No. Well,
there was this one guy.
Not necessarily, but let's put it that way. I've made many mistakes.
Haven't we all, man? We have all.
Yes, and many mistakes because that is okay. That's when I come with the deep part. It's because we have a wounded part of ourselves that we haven't dealt with. We are going to attract some type of people that the wounds are kind of going to be attracting, you know?
Right.
So yeah, well there was one guy.
You know you don't like to talk about your personal life on the internet. We got it. We get it. She's like, hey, listen, I am just here to talk. I am not here to talk about me. Okay. Like,
yeah, so you did talk about your past as a player, right? So yeah, so I felt I could share a little bit.
A little dose.
So
that's cool.
Yes.
They don't need to know that about you anyways.
Right. Well, I feel to bring back to what I do, I feel it's important to heal the wounds, because when you don't heal, then in love, it's going to be super, super obvious what you haven't healed, you know?
Right.
And in fact, so the reason, I think it's okay for me to talk about it. So love in itself used to be the most challenging area of my life, because I had to heal myself a lot. I had to heal my, I had many wounds, and it was a topic I would not talk about very comfortably. Maybe it's still the case, but anyway, I made progress.
Yeah, I feel that. I could sense that though. You know, I really could. Since a while ago, I could sense that, honestly. Since I first met you, I could just, I got a little weird tingling power sometimes when it comes to those kind of things. Just because I've done it so much to girls, so I understand signs, just subtle signs.
Yes, of
I
course.
could say one thing and then watch how you move and react to it, which would tell me a lot, you know. Um, but no, I mean, we're all healing. We're all
Exactly.
trying to manifest. That's what we need to all be doing, Gain the abundance out there, the positive things.
Well, there are people who
Yeah.
have an amazing love life right now. So it's not that it's not impossible, it's that it is possible, but then they have to go through their own journey, and not everybody has the same wounds. And it's
Mm,
about healing them um,
right.
to get where you want to be.
Yep. So it's remember, love thyself. Figure the self out before you can
That's
figure
right.
anything
So,
else.
any
Anything
last
else.
question before we close the live?
You don't want my questions.
Oh wait, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean I will answer.
No, that's it. We'll touch in on it. Maybe episode like 35 we'll break out everything about you.
Very
Get you a
good.
little comfortable out there.
Well, I am comfortable talking about love, not necessarily about mine, but
For that.
and so yes, so thank you everybody for having attended this. I hope you enjoyed it, and it was very interesting to have the point of view of a male and a female. Well, I don't know if I gave much of my point of view. I guess I did to some level at some point where I either disagreed or I reflected, so I did have my take on it. And and I hope that I will see you soon for the next Love Thursday. Thank you, Robin, for your contribution. And
Yes.
and by the way, everybody, at the beginning of the live, we had playing the song of Robin. So I'm going to play a little bit before I close the live.
Burning Bush. You guys can find me at
Oh
OG
yes,
Runaway.
I will do that then. The second one, the other one. So let's see.
Oh, Lens.
Oh no, you want Lens or Burning Bush? You decide.
You can play Burning Bush because Lens takes a long time to start.
All right. Okay then. So wait.
Back to my brain, know we go. And if you got a problem, nigga, let me know. But I ain't hearing nothing that you say. That money coming in, leave that drama at the door. Had a cut some loose ends, cause niggas wasn't trying to grow. Always got my man right when his money moving slow and all these heavy out niggas talk a game, but they don't show. If you stay for a show, that's when got 24. When it shot a video, I might just world star that hoe. My man just world star the hoe. Wish I had it on video, but that's life. Nigga got life for a hoe. 400 for that lens work. 20 piece for that new merch. Fresh cut. Feed up in your suburb. Clear tight, no baby see. In a different city, got a different freak. Run it up through street. Everything we do is clone free. Roll around in the city with your hoe. Pass it back to my boy, you know we go. And if you got a problem, nigga, let me know. But I ain't hearing nothing that you say, no. Roll around in the city with your hoe. Pass it back to my boy, you know we go. Got a problem, nigga, let me know. But I ain't hearing nothing that you say. Timeless, I need my timeless. I think it's timing. My OG, said a nigga really put his time in. I know it. Gotta keep it flowing like the ocean or the minstrel. Read on every instrumental, call me maestro. But if I so every night, though, yo ho, in my line for the pipe. What a word, crying about your respect. Boy, you know that shit earned. Throw dirt in my name and get shut. You want niggas always gossip about some shit. Need to get your money right instead of chasing that. Roll around and say we go. Pass it back to my brain, you know we go. And if you got a problem, nigga, let me know. But I ain't hearing nothing that you say no. One of those guys off the Facebook.
No, this is one of my homies. He's from East Vanderbilt.
Got a problem, nigga, let me know. But I ain't hearing nothing that you say no. Yeah, it goes to a slow motion part after that.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
You guys.
Make sure to subscribe to my channel, share, like, and put a comment under the video. Bye and happy manifesting!